Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 251.
251.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Owner Becky Menken was just in Disneyland Paris, and now she has been to every Disney park. Not only ever, but this year. So I thought that was really cool.
Something to work towards.
Plus, she's done like Adventures by Disney, Royal Caribbean. Plus, she has like 79 other agents who've done, so much other stuff too. So they are definitely a great travel agent. They're traveling all the time.
Yeah, I would say they're very qualified.
Yes. And so anyway, and plus the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is coming up, plus the Festival of the Arts. So there's so much here also at Walt Disney World to look forward to booking for.
There'll be just the Festival of the Always.
Well, I'm waiting for Festival of the Summer because that's the only time, or Festival of, the week between.
Festival of the Sun.
Well, I was going to say the week between the Festival of the Arts and Flower and Garden Festival has 1 week. So there isn't even a festival in that week. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, the Festival of the Arts starts in just like a couple weeks, and then Flower and Garden starts in 2 months.
So make sure you check out MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel for all your travel needs, including all this great stuff coming up at Walt Disney World.
Right, and but we're going to be talking about Christmas and the holidays at Universal Studios and Walt Disney World today. You've always said it's never too late to book for the holidays, but it is too late.
It is too late.
It's too late now, unless you're coming in the next few days. But anyway, we're here at Portofino Bay at Universal Orlando, and it's supposed to look like Italy, and it's beautiful, and we don't get over here nearly enough, and I do like they have a real Christmas tree out front, and when you get closer to it, that's something you can see.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And I really wanted to show some things that you may not see if you only go to the main theme parks in town. So we're going to see a lot of little things, especially involving the resorts. But you're right, this is a beautiful Christmas tree, and it just really puts you in the mood. Now, though, we're going over to
Royal Pacific, Loews Royal Pacific. These are all Loews hotels, and they have. And I wish they would say, how much gingerbread they used, how much chocolate they used, how many minions there are. But the Loews Royal Pacific Hotel has these wonderful huts, each one created with a minion and gingerbread, and it looks like chocolate and whatever else.
And a working train, of course.
A really nice train set. And so I was really surprised at this. I wasn't surprised they had something because I think they had a display last year, and they seem to be the ones who do almost really the most decorating of the three main deluxe style resorts. They have, I think, 5 now with Sapphire Falls.
Yeah, and I think they had 2 Christmas trees. You have this one in the lobby, and then there's another one downstairs on the way out to the pool. So they really had a very festive. Actually, I think you have more decorations here than at the Disney's Polynesian, which is a similar style hotel.
And Disney's Polynesian Resort has had a gingerbread display, but it's been many years since then. And we're at the Hard Rock. We're not going to be here too long. They had essentially 1 tree here with a variety of decorations that are like musical instruments and such.
Yeah, the Hard Rock, I would say, had the least decorating, but that's to be expected, It's rock and roll themed, and it's always a party over there. Now we're going to move on to Universal Studios. We attempted to do this about a week and a half ago to see the parade, the Universal Holiday Parade, featuring Macy's. But when we went, it was really windy, and they only had about 3, maybe 4 of the balloons.
About 4 balloons were up that day, and they were low.
Very low. You couldn't really see them. So I went and looked at the weather, and I found the day that there was the least amount of wind, and we went, and we had a perfect spot here at the end of, I don't know what you
whatever
call this
the road
street.
Is, the Universal Boulevard.
Hollywood
no, I don't know.
Boulevard or something like that. But it was a beautiful view, and there's snow involved. There's really nice music, and this is very different from the Universal parades, the Macy's parade that they've had for a number of years.
Well, it's almost 100% different. I mean, I think they have 3 of the same floats as not floats, but balloons as before, and then I think all the floats are different. I mean, the music's different. if you've seen the Macy's parade in the past, this is completely like 100% almost different.
And I love all the minions that we just saw on that big stocking float. And speaking of the minions, here are a bunch of the characters now.
And I guess I've heard that maybe there's less characters in this. They used to have the Simpsons. They used to have...
Well, there's less different types of characters. You may have the same amount of characters, but before, you had like the Popeye characters and all kinds of different things. So here it's only about 3 or 4 different IPs, which, I mean, this whole Minions section is quite long, as you're seeing.
Right. There's more than one float. You have a variety of different characters. There's more than one balloon. And the same with, we'll see the Shrek, which I don't know if that's the one that's coming up next, but oh no, that's Madagascar.
Yep.
So it's just kind of an interesting...
The snow angel, I like
that.
Really nice. I mean, they did a fantastic job. It kind of reminds me of Paint the Night with the way they have the color at the bottom of the float. I mean, that's the only part that's like Paint the Night.
Yeah, there's nothing else that's
like Paint the Night. But it was really nice. I enjoyed it, and maybe we'll get to see it again. I guess it plays through January 7th or so.
Well, it's January 6th is the last day. We have, I think it was 15 floats and 16 balloons or something like that. And then 3 of the balloons are the same. So it's really, again, a completely new parade. You see Gingy up in the air. We also have the Madagascar up in the air. We had King Julian.
That Gingy is huge, by the way. Absolutely giant. It's maybe the biggest one. I know there's the Nutcracker that's also huge too.
Yes, I think several of them are, like the Minion with who's holding the love.
Oh yeah, right.
So and he was at the beginning.
So impressive in person. If you've never been to the real Macy's parade in New York, and I've only done it once, it's really nice to be able to see something like that right here in Orlando, and it's much more comfortable too.
And here is one of the Shrek floats. I don't know that I kind of like the music better for the other parade.
The Macy's parade?
Yes. I like the characters overall better in this one, but I think the music I liked better last year. And you can see the big bad wolf and the 3 mice. And then we have Donkey here.
That's right, and Donkey is talking. He's making his typical donkey-like comments to you, which is very fun. This is the Shrek section, and they used to have a Shrek feast at Gaylord Palms. Remember, we used to do that? To go to see the Shrek breakfast, and we are honorary ogres. So speaking of ogres, I think we're about to see the ogre and Mrs. Ogre in just a second. Oh, Puss in Boots.
I'm a big fan of Puss in Boots, so I really like the holiday outfit there with the whole cape and the hat and everything.
And you really missed him. One good thing about this parade is if you miss it, if you're sitting close to the beginning like we are here and you miss something, you can actually go and see the ending of it not too far away because it ends close to where it starts.
And I know we only have like 10 days left of it right now as we're talking about it, but at least for next year we can, hopefully give a few tips. But there is Shrek and Fiona with a baby.
Well, speaking of tips, here is the tips. Number 1, if it's windy, you might want to reconsider going if your main course of going for the day is to see the parade, because it'll be greatly reduced if it's windy. And also, I prefer sitting here in this, I guess you could say, Hollywood area.
Well, it's
Sunset Boulevard,
it's closer
perhaps?
to the front. You're talking about Hollywood Studios now, but it's closer to the front of the park. It's easier to get out of the park. Plus, you can kind of see it twice without hardly even needing to walk to it, except for like a minute. So it actually was a good location, and the lighting was very good for it, as opposed to when we were over by the Christmas tree, where Santa lights the Christmas tree, but it really wasn't as good a location for us.
Yeah, because depending on where you go, you're seeing the back end of everything. You can't really see Santa, or you can't see the lighting. And speaking of Santa, we just saw reindeer, and here is Santa now. All these Christmas parades seem to end with Mr. Claus, as they should. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was a really fun parade. It'll be interesting to see what kind of changes they have over the years. I hope they do change it, if this is what they're going to go with.
You're already ready for a change?
Well, no, but I don't mean it. I don't mean it in that way. I mean, expand. Right. It would be nice.
It would be nice to see some more different characters.
Secret Life of Pets, perhaps, could make
Hello Kitty.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things.
They pretty much own everything that Disney doesn't these days.
So now we're going to go over to Disney's Art of Animation. Like I said, we're going to see some things that we normally, you may not necessarily see or notice. This is the beautiful Christmas tree they have over there at the Art of Animation.
And we visited the resorts a fair bit this year, and we always miss missed the characters except for Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But the Christmas tree has the different characters, just as
Sketches,
it has.
Of course, yes.
Just as it has since Disney's Art of Animation opened about 5 years ago.
This is something I've never seen, though, and this is a wreath that represents Epcot's World Showcase. And if you want to pause it and look at all the decorations on the wreath, you'll be able to see why you spotted that. At first, I didn't even realize it was Epcot and World Showcase.
Well, these are wreaths from the cast members. Like, it used to be, it was always the gingerbread
houses.
Right, gingerbread houses. And now the different resorts are kind of doing different things. And one of them was the annual wreath decorating contest. I don't know if it's going to be annual. It's their first time, I believe, doing it. And then also Pop Century has it as well, and we'll show that. But it was just kind of an interesting new take on, doing the gingerbread houses, but doing wreaths, creating wreaths instead.
Well, decorated wreaths seem to be a hot thing. Look at Epcot. They had the Chip and Dale decorated wreaths.
Well, right.
Now we're going to go to Pop Century and check out their Christmas tree. More of a classic look.
I feel like that they have redone this somewhat recently. I don't know if we made it there last year, but I don't remember all of the elves and such, so I'm going to have to go back through some of the pictures I have. But you have Santa and elves, and it is a classic look. It's not, if you see the tree, it's not like, it doesn't jump out at you as Pop Century like Disney's Art of Animation, or the Yacht Club has the boats.
This was awesome. You discovered this guy.
Yes, from Moana, and for some reason he's got an Avengers Santa hat.
As he should.
I don't know that he should. And then he has like a Mickey straw.
Very clever. I thought that was quite interesting. Now we're looking at another tree. This is Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yes, the Port Orleans French Quarter. I think they were pretty much similar in their decorations this year. And you can see it's New Orleans themed. And this is one of my favorite resorts as far as the trees because of all the purple.
Well, we had an ulterior reason for going because you had seen online somewhere that they had a new item for sale, and here it is. Oh wait, not yet.
No,
not yet.
They're not selling gingerbread.
These are not what I'm talking about, but we'll look at them anyway. This is the gingerbread decorating contest,
yes.
And I voted for that one, which of course is the cocoa.
That's the one I voted for as well. But yeah, the item for sale we'll talk about in a second. And then we also had the different, like you can see merchandise, housekeeping, the front office. Everybody has a
there's
gingerbread.
The crab from Moana. A lot of Moana is represented this year.
Everybody likes Moana.
But this is more of a traditional resort type of thing that we always would see over the years, the gingerbread houses. Okay, now we're ready for the special item, the winter special gingerbread spice beignets.
Yes, so we picked those up, and I love gingerbread. I didn't even see him making them back there. Now, the beignets themselves are not gingerbread, but it's the powdered sugar, which I got plenty of.
Oh, yeah.
It was all over me. And all over my camera bag, but
there they are, and the presentation is changed. Instead of just putting them on the paper plate, you get a nice curved plate, which helps keep the mess to a minimum.
Somewhat,
not that much of a minimum,
but there was a lot of. It was nice because I like powdered sugar, even though I couldn't have all of it. There was so much. But these were really good. They had a nice gingerbread taste to them. But like some family members of mine wanted to get beignets, regular beignets, not even on this day, but they were coming in a day or two later. And they were able to get the regular ones because it really is just in the sugar.
And this guy used to be in the kids' pool area. He is an alligator playing the, what is that?
Saxophone.
How did I not know that? Anyway, he was repurposed. He is no longer blowing bubbles out of the saxophone, and he's joining his other friend alligators that have a little band going on here.
Yes, and so I thought that was fun because I'm like, oh, no, look, another alligator, so I thought that was a little fun addition.
Yeah, we found that out from a manager. It was very surprising to see a fourth gator because we're so used to only seeing the three.
Right. I mean, I noticed it and then I asked about it because I assumed it had come from somewhere, but I didn't know where. They had, if you've not been to the Port Orleans French Quarter in the last couple of years, they have a whole new kids water play area that's way better than the little whatever they had, before. So definitely check that out if you have kids and you like moderate resorts.
So now we're going to go from moderate resorts to deluxe resorts. We're here at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, and we're in Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, and they had a brand new mug. You can see it up there. It's a Pachyderm style mug. So this was about 2 days before Christmas, and we ran over.
So with the mug comes the poinsettia punch. And it's a really nice drink. I guess it's always on the menu for
always
the holidays.
On the holiday, correct. That's very true.
And so it came with it, and there is Jeff with his mug.
And it was a very nice mug. There's actually 2 elephants there with the Santa Claus hat. And Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar in Anaheim had it first, but their mug was gray in color. So this is a little different for the completist, but not bad. It's smaller than you think in real life. When you see it in person, it's not quite as big as these pictures make it look, but it was still nice.
And you always like to go and collect all the different mugs. So there is a Trader Sam's Grog Grotto on the bottom.
So anyway, we're going to leave Trader Sam's, and now we're going to head to Disney's Contemporary Resort. It's a whirlwind of a trip, isn't it?
Yes, and so we're here for Chef Mickey's. I don't remember the last time I did Chef Mickey's for breakfast. Maybe once or twice in my life. I've done dinner many times, but even then, more in the 90s and early 2000s. My niece is over there. She's going to be in the video for a few seconds.
Well, this is Christmas Eve morning, actually. We're starting our Christmas holiday right now.
Yes, we were with my family, and it was really nice. My mom invited all of us to come and enjoy. We did Tony's Town Square one day and Chef Mickey's the next morning.
So here it is. Here's Chef Mickey's, and we're going to see some famous Mickey waffles coming up.
So, yeah, the Mickey waffles, of course, you never see them anywhere else on Walt Disney World property, which I'm kidding about.
Yes.
They also had cinnamon pancakes on this day and a variety of other items. And we are going to see, I mean, really the reason that you're coming here is for the characters and less for the food than the characters.
Right, and there is Chef Mickey himself. He's come to greet us, and there I am. And there's a shirt that you got me, a little early Christmas gift. Very nice. Thank you for that nice shirt.
Yes, from Kohl's. So that one didn't come from Disney. And then there is Chef Mickey with me as well. And this was the character interaction was really good here. There is my 2 nieces with Goofy when he came by, and then there is Donald Duck.
Well, they have this little celebration about every half hour, and the characters all come out, and everybody does the twirling of the napkins and things. It gets everybody all pumped up.
They've been doing that for over like 20 years. They've done it all along, and there's Minnie Mouse. She was checking out the Mickey poster.
So it was a great experience. My only thing I could say is the food itself, not quite as good as at the Gaylord Palms when we did the Charlie Brown character breakfast a few weeks ago.
Well, the Gaylord Palms Villa Flora is well above this. You have Four Seasons, Boma. I mean, really the reason to go to Chef Mickey's really is more for the character interaction. The food was decent, but, you know, the selection is less than some of those other places. But it was really, really a fun time. So
here we are at the Magic Kingdom. We ran over from the Contemporary, and why not? It is Christmas Eve.
Yes, and we haven't been here enough this year, so no, I'm kidding you. Jeff actually wanted to meet a character who is out only for Christmas week.
Well, before we met that character, though, we wanted to check out Stitch's Great Escape, which was officially announced closing on January 6th, I think.
And by checking it out, we weren't going inside.
Oh, no.
He was only just checking.
We just wanted to see the line.
Right. So I actually had not heard yet that it was finally said to be closing. I mean, I know it's been like a couple of years where it's been talked about. So very glad that's happening. And there is
Left Reindeer. This is the star of the show, literally. The whole reason for us going was to meet Left Reindeer. And why don't you tell, you just discovered the goodness of Left Reindeer this year on our show with me live. I remember that.
Well, I didn't know there was a such thing as Left Reindeer. So he is like in the Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration. He dances just like he's dancing now, except usually a little faster.
Well, he started to be to sort of be a standout performer last year, and I think it went over very well. So he practices chops and all, and now this year he does it every single show.
And for the meet and greet, and you can have where it says left. You can have the sign that says left so that you make sure it's left reindeer.
And there's our friend, Tim Tracker, and we were hanging out with him while we were waiting in line to meet left reindeer. So he had not met him yet either. So he was also very excited.
Yeah, Jeff was especially really excited to meet him.
Oh, that was a highlight of my entire Christmas. Well, the Beverly shirt was pretty awesome too, but it was spectacular. And he's singing "Let It Go." They're both singing "Let It Go" as they run back.
I'm not sure that the reindeer is singing.
Well, he is, of course. What do you think? He is definitely singing. So we thought it was going to be the last time, maybe, that we were at the Magic Kingdom. So I was waving goodbye to the Christmas tree, but that was not to be the case. We went over next to Disney's Wilderness Lodge to check out their decorations.
And this is actually maybe my favorite resort for the holidays, and yet we don't really spend as much time here as I would personally prefer. It's
not so busy.
It's not on the monorail loop. It's not as easy to get to, but it is really my favorite as far as decorations. But also as far as decorations, the campsite guests at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Fort Wilderness, sorry, are amazing every year. And look at this one. These are campsite guests, and they are creating these incredible displays. Like right here, you have the Cinderella's coach, and you have Cinderella's castle.
Didn't he say it took 5 days to set this up?
He said 5 days just to set it up. That's not to create it. That was just to set it up. And there's a lot more that you're not seeing, and we'll show it at night as well. But just the lights and the trees, and you've got the deer, and you've got like plush, just so much here.
And again, these are all put up by campers. Like, here we have a Star Wars, and Spider-Man is looking on, kind of wondering what is happening there.
Well, I'm not sure what Spider-Man's doing there. He's kind of out of the loop.
And this one is very popular, the AT-AT. I saw that at a number of campsites, so it must be a big seller.
Each year it's a little different.
So here we are at the Fort Wilderness Christmas Golf Cart Parade, and they seem to be doing the horse-pulled carriages at the beginning of the parade, although we have a sleigh for Christmas, and it is Chip and Dale with their Christmas scarves.
And last year, was it Daisy Duck was there, or Minnie Mouse?
It was Daisy, and she had an outfit I had never seen, sort of a candy cane-looking hat and everything. So we've seen Chip and Dale now 3 times in a row, 4th of July, Halloween, and now Christmas. So
So I guess Chip and Dale right now are the golf cart mascot.
I like this one. It's a Winnebago and pulling a little golf cart. So that was really cool. So creative. All these are actually just done by fellow campers, so they work hard on these. And we go to all the golf cart parades. We just love the creativity of the guests.
Well, they have the Christmas, Halloween, and 4th of July. With really the Halloween one generally is the big one of the year, but there was a lot of guests here.
Oh, there was a lot of guests and a lot of fun floats. Just just like a good time. It makes puts a big smile on my face, and they keep getting more and more elaborate every year. At least Fort Wilderness now, they're piping in music, and it's really becoming a big thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has been, but also, it's nice. You come here and it feels like Christmas, and you've got the decorations, and especially what the campsite guests do on their own is really what makes Fort Wilderness for the holidays.
And it really is our tradition. I think we're approaching 9 years in a row of going to Fort Wilderness on Christmas Eve. And this is the end of the Christmas golf cart parade, and they've started to end these parades by having the fire truck, and it reminds me of a small town parade, something that you'd see where you live.
Yes. So I always enjoy it, and again, this, and then we usually do Trails End. We ended up not doing Trails End. We did takeout.
We did
on this day.
The Lone Rider. I recommend the Lone Rider, getting all white meat and splitting it. Oh, and it is snowing. For the first time ever, it's actually snowing here at Pioneer Hall at Fort Wilderness.
I've never seen this before, so I thought that was a lot of fun. Now resorts, everybody can get the snowblower, so anybody can have snowblower. You could probably have it in your house. So that was fun, and they have the the Christmas tree here. And
there's Santa. There's Santa Claus himself meeting and greeting. It just gets bigger and bigger. You know, they seem to have a thing now where they bring out their food truck and they have a setup. Like this time they had an ornament making display, not display, where you can actually go and make ornaments for free, no extra charge. So I thought that was kind of nice. And they were giving away snickerdoodles and what was the drink?
Snickerdoodles and cider.
Cider.
And I mean, it's very different. And right now, like for both Halloween and Christmas, like everything is like right here.
Right.
And I think sometimes it's nicer to have it a little more spread out. It feels a little congested now.
Look at Denise moving her hands. I wish the viewer could see those hands.
You know, they used to have like something on the beach and something here and then maybe at the campfire. It was nice having everything sort of, you know, spread out a little bit so not everybody was in one spot. But it's still nice that they do this. And when we were over at the Polynesian, they were also handing out snickerdoodles. So we had snickerdoodles twice on this day.
Well, we didn't really need it at the Poly because we had just come from a giant breakfast.
I didn't have a whole snickerdoodle.
I did not turn it down at the Fort Wilderness. So, and here we have the sleighs. You can rent these sleighs. They're private sleighs, but you should always make a reservation. I wouldn't even try to walk up. Sort of like when we went to Trails End and we wanted to move up our reservation, they actually laughed. They physically laughed at us.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know that rent is the right word. It's more like you book a reservation and somebody will drive you.
Did I say rent?
Yes, you said rent. So
yes.
You don't rent it. Like you're not going to take it with you. You know?
It is
I just want to make sure, you know,
poor choice of word.
Yes, somebody else will drive you for like, I think it's 25 minutes. And then there's Chip and Dale. They're wearing their same scarves that they wore on the on the sleigh, is essentially, you know, on the small carriage sleigh.
And this was a little different. I mean, things change. You just never know. And you were very right, because I was waiting where the characters would always come out, as I do every single year. And not only did they not come from that area, they went to a completely different place, and they came at a totally different time. So they didn't come out until full darkness. And usually you can catch them when it's still bright out. So you never know.
Usually right after the golf cart parade, because they were in the golf cart parade. So you usually will see them right after that. And a long time ago, they used to have Scrooge McDuck as well. Mm-hmm. So they've had different characters throughout the years. So
we're going to take one more look at that beautiful castle site, since it's now dark. And what a fantastic, there's things that you can't even see during the day, like that star, and just absolutely beautiful. I can't stress enough, this is somebody's campsite.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the campsite guests at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground do as good a job or better than Disney itself does for, you know, a lot of its decorations.
Well, we go from one castle to the other, and there's not much difference.
Except for there's so many more people.
It was packed.
Crazy.
Absolute bedlam. This is Christmas Eve. I did make it through the mob of people to see your guilty pleasure.
Yes, my guilty pleasure. Totally Tomorrowland Christmas. I couldn't really see it so well. But it's okay. You know, I saw it during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party a couple of times. For me, this is one of the best shows. It's just so much fun. And I think it's really good to go to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party so you don't have quite this many
Well,
people.
Right. I mean, we would always say, well, if you wait, you know, you can go and see this show and all the shows included with your regular park admission. But after trying to go on Christmas Eve, I've never been so happy to spend the money to go to the party. Far more enjoyable. It was absolute bedlam, pandemonium in the Magic Kingdom. We literally could not move when
hard.
We were in the middle of the hub.
I don't know that it's like that every evening, because my family had gone the previous day and it was not too bad. But there's less days of this included. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party went to like the 22nd instead of like the 17th or 18th. So there's less days. So, you know, more guests are probably wanting to see this and probably plan for it.
Right, December 23rd, Christmas Eve was the first day this year that regular guests could see these events.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but again, you know, if you can go to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party during like the first week of November, that's a really good time to go.
So immediately after the Totally Tomorrowland Christmas, we worked our way to the hub to see Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, and we finally got there. We wanted to see Left Reindeer, and then all of a sudden, the show broke down. Yeah,
we have never seen that happen with the show before, and then it's fireworks. So Yeah.
They just said, ladies and gentlemen, they're due to unforeseen circumstances or whatever, the show has been canceled. And then they just lit off all the fireworks and the castle turned to ice. So it was actually beautiful, but I felt bad for people that had been waiting a long time. They were not able to see the big finale.
Yeah, I mean, it was very busy, so I'm sure some of them had been waiting well. There was still an 11 o'clock show, so hopefully that went off. We did not wait for it. It was a little too busy, certainly for my wanting to stay.
So this time it was for real. We are saying goodbye, probably for the season, to the Magic Kingdom.
Unless when we get back from DC, maybe we'll see it again.
Maybe we'll sneak in. See it. So now we're jumping ahead one day. It's Christmas night. We decided we were going to Disney's Hollywood Studios. We wanted to see Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, but we wanted to see the view from the lake.
This is actually my favorite view, even without the Christmas tree and Gertie and the Christmas lights. I actually just like this view for fireworks, and it's not generally so busy over here. And, you know, we went to both Disney's Hollywood Studios and Epcot on this night, and neither of them were that very busy.
And this is Christmas night we're talking about. So I think as long as you avoid the Magic Kingdom, it is not necessarily going to be too nutty. This is a great view, though. You could see the fireworks, the lasers. You can still see the Christmas tree in your vision, and you can still see some of the projections. So I really liked it, and it was completely uncrowded. We walked in just as the show had started, and we were able to lean comfortably. There was nobody around us right on the railing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't lean. I was taking pictures with a tripod, right. But at the same time, you know, it just that we were able to get a spot when the show had already started was very nice. And again, Epcot also, it was starting to get a little cold, though it wasn't that cool yet by now. Once we got to Epcot, it got into the 50s, which I know everybody's going to laugh at.
Right.
But for here, everybody was buying like blankets and stuff to wear because they weren't ready for the cold. So anyway, both of the parks were really were very nice and not too crazy. Not in the evenings, maybe in the daytime, but not in the evening.
Well, you know it's good when you're able to get PhotoPass pictures during the show.
Yes.
No line. And I asked her, I said, has it been slow like this? And she said, we just happened to pick the right time because it has been very busy all day, except for that one little moment. But then we headed over from Hollywood Studios. We walked, actually, over to Epcot, and we made it in time to see the final Candlelight Processional on Christmas night, something we'd never done, and not crowded. Look at this. We've got a great center spot on the aisle. Very good view for the show. There
were still quite a few people who, who had booked packages, but I like between Christmas and December 30th for the Candlelight Processional, because you don't have most of the pass holders here.
And here is Dr. John Sinclair, one of my favorite conductors. And do you remember who our narrator was?
It was Jackie Velasquez. She's I've known who she was for like 20 years. So she is a contemporary Christian artist.
And she was really good. She did a great job. And it was a really nice way to end our Christmas night with seeing the candlelight.
And it was, as I said, in the 50s. It was freezing. It was freezing. Everybody was so cold.
Well, you had my jacket, yes. So you should have been toasty warm.
I wasn't toasty, but isn't that funny? There are people on my Twitter, they have like 0 degrees, and we're going to be seeing some very cold temperatures soon, but 50s, it was just so cold here.
Well, it was worth the frigid 50-degree weather to be at Epcot on Christmas night, seeing the Candlelight Processional. Again, I think it was a perfect way to end our holiday night.
Well, it was the only chance that we'd have to see it seated, so I was glad we did it.
So anyway, thanks again to our sponsors, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Yes, thank you, and check them out. They have a newsletter. Sign up for that, and you can find out about great deals at the different parks and, Disney Cruise Line and such.
Well, I am inspired by Becky's visiting every single park in one year. So one of these years, we're going to have to try and do such a feat ourselves. It'd be worth it for the show.
But I want to do Disneyland Paris 3 times this year.
That's every year. That's every year. There's no surprise.
We only did it once this
to
year.
To go to these Asian parks, you'd have to miss it would not be a Disneyland Paris.
That would be very difficult. I love Disneyland Paris so much.
Well, I do love it too, and I can't wait to go back there this year in June for Disney Fan Days and all that. And we want to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas, and we have We're heading to DC for a few days in the coming week, so not for a very long trip to see family, but we're also planning to see Gaylord National Ice. They have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in ice.
Oh, and hopefully we'll be able to get into the Rudolph breakfast and see Yukon Cornelius and Bumble and Rudolph and Clarice and all of them. I am so excited.
It actually
I hope
sounds
we
like
can
fun.
We can do that. So it'll be a fun time there in Washington D.C.
And I wanted to see the Willard Intercontinental decorations. So that's something else that we plan to do that day in the press club.
In the press club, that's right. I always like dining there, so it should be a really nice trip. Anyway, we're about to get ready for freezing cold temperatures, so we have to finish packing.
That's why we stopped the show. No, but anyway, thanks again for watching. I think, we really appreciate it as we're coming to the end of this year. Thank you so much for hanging with us in 2017.
Thanks for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.